When I found the house, the yard spoke to me. I was coming from the city where I had no yard, and I actually knew nothing about gardening, and I thought, wow, this would be a creative project that I'm really excited about. One of my goals was I wanted to feel like I was on vacation every night when I came home. So it has this beachy, vacation-like feel. I wanted to create sort of a wild garden, a more free-flowing garden, so I tried to just create more space. I love the front yard because it's a more concentrated area with lots of flowers. I wanted to create a space that I would enjoy coming out to, so I removed a tree, put a window box in, put a nice bench. I took out the bushes that were here that kind of divided the front yard, and I put a really nice pathway here. And then I planted all my favorite flowers that I would want to look at. This incredible morning glory that goes up the telephone pole. I planted a lot of dahlias. One of my passions in life is color. I love wild and bold colors, so I fell in love with dahlias. It's probably my primary plant in the garden. I also have a lot of astrameria that were here beforehand. I use a lot of pinks and a lot of oranges, yellows, and purples. Each time of the year, there's something that's showcased. Early spring, the tulips start coming up and the daffodils. And then middle of the summer becomes the astrameria, and then throughout the summer, it's the roses and the dahlias. In the fall, I've got the persimmon tree. Color just brings me a lot of joy. I've created some colorful furniture here and there. I've used planters, which are pops of color. I love planting in containers because you can move them around the garden and create little vignettes everywhere. So this is a galvanized bucket. This one is a window box. Another blue pail, some mason jars for herbs. You can use terracotta. When I'm buying the different planters, I kind of like the look of the old and the new, and also take into account that I want to have a lot of different color. The more color, the better. A lot of people are afraid of color, and I would just say experiment with it. If I purchase plants, I'll bring them into the yard, I'll put them in different places, I'll see how it works. I just garden by my intuition. I planted these nice planters right at the front of the gate so that it can, kind of greet people when they come in. And then they walk in and then they see my rosemary here, which is sort of fun because I use this in cooking. I use it for skewers. I have a number of edible fruits and vegetables in the yard. I've got a espalier of apples, so about 9 different varieties of apples. And then I have lemons, limes, persimmons, and kale, and some herbs. I often use the persimmon on a tablescape, or I will, at a party, I'll have bags of persimmons or allow people to pick their own persimmon and have a recipe that they can use to create a cake at home. I have a few herbs that I keep close to the kitchen, and sometimes I'll plant them in mason jars, and that way I can just bring them inside, clip what I need, and then bring them back outside. Food inspires me out here. I'll make pizzas on the grill. I just created this sort of grilling station right near my kitchen. Just put in a little DG patio here and decorated it with some nice plants. I love to entertain. I like to create sort of a magical canvas when I'm having a dinner party. So I wanted a space with a lot of different areas where people could congregate. Oftentimes I'll start with creating an outdoor living room in my driveway where people can come and have a drink. I'll put down a rug and a couple pieces of furniture, and that way when guests arrive, they'll have maybe a glass of wine. I'll have a little bar out here. Then I have everybody come into the backyard, and sometimes they'll mill around in this area and we'll enjoy another glass of wine. A lot of times people will sort of walk around the garden to different spots. In each area, there are beautiful plants and outdoor art. My friend created this beautiful tiled sphere. This particular piece was a focal point in my dining room in the city, and now it's a focal point in my garden. This piece was my buffet in the dining room, and I just brought it outside, and now it's my outdoor buffet. And this piece, this Turkish grate, was a piece of art on my wall in my bedroom, and now it's art in the garden. I get a lot of ideas from house, or just going to the flea market, the gardening stores, and see what inspires me. I've done a lot of fun things to create nice lighting in the yard, so I've used some string lights, which can kind of give it, one part of the garden almost a feel of a living room. I have some hanging lanterns that are hung from a tree, and I got some candles that are battery operated. The reason I chose that is then, they can be hard to light otherwise, and they can blow out. After dinner, the diehards will congregate at the fire pit, and we'll make s'mores. I'll sometimes serve hot chocolate or warm drinks. It's often hard to get people to leave. You don't have to spend a lot of money to create a magical environment. A lot of my plants I planted from seeds or bulbs, so that's a lot less expensive. You can find bargains online. I got the lights half price at the end of the season. I went to the flea market and got, these beautiful French flower planters for $10. My outdoor space I just love because it's my sanctuary and it's my creative canvas. It's very colorful, whimsical, playful, and it just brings a lot of joy to me, and I hope to others.